404-879-4022.
Welcome back. You're listening to Cindy Laverty Show on CRN Digital Talk Radio. If you want to give us a call and talk to Sark, our number is 800-336-2225. And I want to remind you that the show is also archived on YouTube and Ustream. So you just have to search for Cindy Laverty and you can watch the show. I'm launching a new huge Care Company website at the end of this month, and you can go to thecarecompany.biz and sign up for our free e-zine, and you'll get updates. If you know someone who is a caregiver, 67 million Americans are, this is a great place because we're going to be offering a face, a voice, teleseminars, all kinds of things for family caregivers. So share the news and share the care and join the journey with me. My guest today is Sark, and we're talking about her book, Glad No Matter What, which doesn't mean that you have to walk around pretending to be happy and glad all the time. It means simply that you find joy and gladness in situations. How you deal with adversity and sadness and pain is really up to you. Sark, thanks so much for being here today.
Oh, Cindy, I so appreciate it. And
your voice is hanging in there, and you're doing great.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful.
Did we finish with our doubt and fear and inner critics?
Well,
yours are in Japan.
Yes, I want to offer one more thing for people, and this will be an example for them, too. Recently, I did, on my book tour, I did a talk show, a television talk show, and I've been doing media for 25 years, so I have a lot of experience. And it was a great show, and I felt great about it. And then I got into my rental car, and all the inner critics started talking. And, well, you didn't wear the right jacket, and you didn't thank the producer, and you didn't leave a copy of the book, and you didn't do this and that. And it was awful. And I found myself in tears in my rental car. And I thought,
Sark.
I know, it's awful. And I thought, because they're ruthless.
They're not nice.
No, they can't be. They're trying to protect you, but they're doing it in a misguided way by telling you every awful thing that could ever happen, ever.
Right.
So I decided it was time for some new action, because I am all about the new. And so I looked around, and here was a police officer and a squad car. So I got out of my car and went over to him, and I said, can I ask you an unusual favor? And he said, well, it depends on what it is. And I thought, well, good, he has good boundaries. And then I said, I'm an author on book tour, and I was just attacked by a squad of inner critics after I had done a morning television show. Would you be available and willing to have them arrested and take them to jail for the remainder of my book tour?
You did not.
I did. And he smiled, this huge smile, and he said, I know about inner critics. I'd be happy to do that. And he opened the back door to his squad car, and we literally escorted the inner critics in, and there were many of them. And I got to close the door and then wave as he drove off.
Oh, I love that. What a great story. Now, I don't know that everybody would be able to step out and do that, but that's a great story, and we can keep that in mind.
You can imagine doing it. So
yes.
I had my inner critics arrested, and so can you.
Okay. Can we focus on your mom for a minute?
Oh, sure. Marvelous Marjorie.
My mother's name is Marjorie, too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. Loss is really only part of the caregiving journey. And you know that, I know that. And so many people are doing this today and are really scared, some even terrified. So what are some of the lessons you learned from caring for your mom?
Oh, my goodness, yes. And I will say that I cared for her for 3 years, well, longer than that, of course, but very actively for 3 years at a distance, because I lived in California and she lived in Minnesota.
And that's hard.
And would not move.
Yeah.
And so, yes, it was challenging, and I established care teams, and I hired care managers, and I supervised this all, and I flew there all the time, and I was on the phone constantly, and I was constantly getting calls. They've burned her with the heating pad. They've dropped her in the nursing home. Oh, my goodness, it was one of the most stressful, challenging things. But like you said, I realized... And, I didn't know. I learned so much about how to care for myself
Exactly.
In the midst of caring for her.
Exactly. That's the biggest lesson.
It's the biggest lesson. So 2 words I will offer that you will understand right away, and many listening will, and that is compassionate detachment.
Mm-hmm. I call it distant observer.
Yeah. And you know, because there you are and you're in the midst of these kind of horrifying scenes. I was, in doctors' rooms with my mother saying and doing certain things, and doctors saying and doing certain things, and really being able to be glad in the midst of that.
Right. Right. Well, I love one of the things that you did when she was in the nursing home, and you had all of the people who follow you on Facebook or in your Planet Sark community send her letters and cards, and you decorated her walls with them.
Oh my goodness! There she was in this nursing home with these blank walls, and I was sending her as many things as I could. And then I got this idea, and I just said to people, anybody that wants to just send a note to my mom, I would so appreciate it. Well, I think it was just weeks later we had 8,000 cards and letters, and we put them up on every square inch of her nursing home room walls. And at first she was very resistant. She said, well, why would these people write to me? They don't even know me. And by the 3rd day she was like, well, I'm hearing from New Zealand and Australia and a woman from England today. Like, she had completely forgotten about me.
Isn't that's just magic, though, And I mean, I think those are the little things that caregivers forget to do, is that because they're so busy trying to fix everything that they forget how to just engage and be an advocate as opposed to a fixer.
Exactly, and open their own receiving channels.
Yeah.
Because most people are good givers and terrible receivers.
Well, and caregivers especially fall into that category.
And so if you can think of receiving as one of the things you're doing in your caregiving, that's actually a very valuable and important skill.
Yes.
That may help you open a bit, because here I was asking for people, and then, here they were pouring their hearts out to my mother. So not only did we put these up on the wall, we invited the entire nursing home to come and see them.
So you brought joy to everybody.
Yeah, so every day there would be people in their walkers and their wheelchairs lined up to go in my mother's room and hear and read and see the next letters.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. You never stop missing a parent, but you can keep that memory alive. I got to take another break. I can't believe how fast this is going. You're listening to the Cindy Laverty Show. I'll be right back.
See that blue OnStar button on your mirror?